Oh, now I can pick it up? Beth, it's Garry Shandling.
Oh, hey, Gary, hang on one second.
Okay. So we've got his audio on the other side.
Hello?
Hello, Jon, it's Garry.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
Jon, first of all, as I've said before when I called you last month to ask you to do this, it's very giving of you to do this. And
Very giving.
Then we can make jokes about how low tech it is and the fact that I can't see you. And I just made a joke into this camera on this side in which
Yes.
I said, I don't even have a satellite feed with you because I've had enough relationships over a satellite feed.
Yes. The satellite feed is too impersonal. This is much better.
I've done all these kind of just conversations in person, and
This is much better.
it keeps a certain distance between us that I wish I didn't have, to be honest.
It's neither one of us will get a cold. This is really the way to go.
Well, I don't know. I may get something from my phone. I don't know who used it before. You know, as I'm exploring the decisions I made, and you know, it seems to me that a big part of what this DVD has been is,
Right.
he hosted the Tonight Show and then chose to do a show about a host. You made a certain decision that wasn't a broad commercial choice, but I haven't read any interviews where people have talked to you about it. But I'm
Right.
talking to you as someone who had similar choices and
Right.
wonders about them, and you clearly made a right one. And why don't you? How did you
Well,
do
the
that?
thing, I mean, you know as well as I do, you know, whenever you make those decisions, you don't know that it's going to be the right one. But it's, you know, people always talk about, geez, were you afraid to take that job because, you know, for whatever reason, it was stepping into one person's shoes, or did you think you would be able to do that? But we're not in the business, you know, I don't think anybody who gets into the comedy business is necessarily in it because the choices they make are regimented or safe. I mean, it's the business we're in.
But you know, I think that's one of the ways I would hope. I'm giving myself a compliment along with you.
You should. It's your
That makes
DVD.
us similar.
Your DVD should be filled with compliments about you.
Okay, well,
They should be written on the box.
that's what I'm hinting around at. If you could just go on a little bit, 'cause I'm not so interested in you.
I'm not that interested in me.
But I mean, I guess those are how we both operate. Is it's not about sort of going for, and yet for the most commercial choice, and yet from this, you have become.
One of the things I'll make the compliment. One of the things I learned from doing the Larry Sanders Show is to focus on, you know, your internal barometer of what is good, and not to make the choices that necessarily might even seem like the popular choice or the thing, but to try and stay within the construct that you've set up story-wise. Like there was a story discipline there that
Right.
I needed to see and needed to learn, and see that connection between the writer's room and the actors.
Well,
on that was, to me, that was the biggest leap of all, is to watch the process from, because I had never viewed actors, I'd never really worked with guys like we're on that show, like Rip Torn and Jeffrey Tambor and you, who brought with it a whole level of expertise that enhanced the writing. For me, it was always the page and stuff that was written for my voice. So to learn how to write in other voices and to watch how they could take that stuff and make it flower, you know, that I thought was fascinating.
I just wish I could see you. Are you wearing pants? Are you wearing?
I'm wearing mostly pants. I'd say culottes. What do you think of something that comes up to just below the knee? I'd say it's more of a capri.
It comes up to just below the knee, or it
right.
comes down?
And it tapers. I won't say that it doesn't
wait, are you
taper.
starting at your waist and going down, or starting from the floor going up?
I was actually from the floor going up. You know what? I just realized you're right. Those are knee socks.
Yeah, that's
and
you're
that's
wearing
not
socks.
and that's not helping at all.
Could we talk about for a minute about
Larry
a
Sanders.
couple episodes?
Yes, we can.
And I haven't gone into this. I mean, I rarely do it, but I mean, you're in so many of that last season that you're really a very good man.
Let me just say
you're
this.
A very
I'm
good
in
man.
so many in that last season that I actually got Writers Guild health insurance that year. That's how many episodes I was.
Nobody knows how much you actually wrote. I counted on you. I feel like I still owe you something somewhere, and
I feel that
I feel a little guilty about
are,
something.
Let me say this: you owe me nothing. It was an amazing experience. I learned an incredible amount about a much more complicated process than I'd ever been involved in before. I knew it was a very difficult year for you, and I felt badly about that, but that was something that I was absolutely thrilled to have done, and
A little like a Vietnam experience.
in some respects, having nothing to do with, but, you know, I was traveling out to LA. You know, I've never lived in LA.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten
And so I was
that.
traveling 2 weeks out there, 2
You know
weeks
what?
home.
I had forgotten that till now.
Yeah, and staying in a hotel room when out there, and you know, that part of it, I was disconnected for that entire year to some extent. But you know, I think that you have a sense of, because that last year was so tough for you, I sense some remorse or guilt in you about the people around you, and I think that is you know, everyone's responsible for themselves, and I would stop worrying about that. And if that's not the closing line of your DVD, I really don't know what to tell you.
Well, let's just talk about if we could. I've never heard you so funny. If we could just.
I've never been.
It's very sweet. It was my idea the last season that someone needs to threaten
Right.
Larry, and I don't think I don't have a recollection of any doubt that it would be you. I don't remember contacting you about it. Did I call you?
Yeah, we had dinner in New York. You came into town, and I met you at a restaurant with, I think, my wife.
I was going to say that was, but you weren't married yet.
No, we weren't married yet.
Because I know the next night I met you with a different woman.
Right, and we just kept doing that over and over again. And I kept introducing them as my wife.
Right.
I remember you got very confused about that.
And then,
but we sat down there, and Billy Joel was there, and Alan King, and you had to promise each one of them that they would be on the Larry Sanders Show. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of pressure. That everyone you meet, that is in some respects. I remember Alan King saying, you know, Gary, we got to do something. And then Billy Joel, and you said you'll come on and you'll perform, and then I believe you offered a job to the maitre d' as well.
Well, the maitre d' we had on.
I think that was the only person that actually ended up being on the show.
But here's what's so horrible, John, is
Yeah.
I don't remember Billy Joel being there. And did I speak to him?
Not only did you speak to him,
Because I went to see Billy Joel in concert last year, you know, and if I said I don't think I've ever met him, or I would have like gone backstage and said hi.
right?
But go ahead. Not only did I
My
speak to him,
guess
but
is
you're going to say
that-
I fed him by with fork. I fed him, didn't I?
What you did is you cut up his veal piccata because you were concerned. Although with his history of instances, I'm not so sure that he would remember either. But the main thing is we sat and we talked a little bit about it. And you know who else was there? Sarah Silverman, I think, was there.
I remember that. That's right.
And we talked a little bit about it. And then we went to the park the next day and walked around the park.
Tell me more.
As the crisp, cool air hit our faces,
what kind of
I
cologne
believe
was
my
that?
hand touched yours.
I remember
and then we
that.
shared a lime Ricky.
And what do you remember? Was I wearing cologne? Was I wearing that?
It wasn't so much cologne. It was a musky smell.
Oh, I know what that was. That was room service. That was the leftover room service stank.
Right.
That's right.
There was something along the lines of there. But we walked around because I think I was doing. It was beautiful out, and so walking around. Then we walked down, and so you had errands to run, and I was privileged enough to accompany you on sock running errands. I think you were buying socks.
Oh boy! And yet you say I owe you no apologies.
You owe me no apologies.
Did you learn anything about sock buying?
I did indeed.
What do you think I should do next? Maybe,
I would say 2 words.
because you've got good
I would say this.
objective.
I think lighten up.
Yeah.
It's not a project. It's I think I would say shut it down.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to talk to you.
Congratulations on your life. Okay,
And yours as well.
Congratulations on that.
Great. Thank
Bye.
you. Take care.